Good morning, everyone, and welcome on back to our classes once again. I hope say these videos as we dey see am, dey watch am, we dey enjoy am, and we dey learn all these different concepts wey we dey study for all these videos wey we dey generate. Now today, the major thing wey we go look at today na the differences wey dey between plants and animals. Plants and animals dey get different structures and dey get different ways wey dey dey take carry out all their life processes. And e dey very important to understand all these differences and to know the way plants take differ from animals. Now, both plants and animals, the two of them be wetin we dey refer to as living things. And living things, e get particular characteristics, e get different features wey living things go get, e get activities wey living things dey do wey we dey take know say okay, this thing na living thing e be. We don do a video before to talk about characteristics of living things. If you never watch that video, go look at that video to take understand all the different, e get 10 characteristics wey living things must dey show for us to know say okay, this thing na living thing. Now for today, we wan look at the differences wey dey between plants and animals. Plants and animals na organisms wey dey plenty for this world wey we bin dey live so. And as scientists, we need to know the difference wey dey for plant and animal. The first major difference wey we go talk about na for the area of nutrition. Plants and animals, the way they take feed and generate materials, e dey very different. First, plants, wetin plants dey do na say most plants dey engage in wetin we dey call photosynthesis. And wetin this one mean na say the plant get the ability to use energy wey dey for sunlight, use am to generate food or its own material wey e go store for im body. And that thing we dey refer to am as autotrophic nutrition. This one be the ability of the plant to produce its own food using energy of sun. E go come store that food for particular area for im body, and e go dey use up that food anytime wey e need that food. Now, animals on the other hand, they no fit engage in such a thing. Animals, e get just two major ways wey they dey take feed. Either the animal go feed on another animal or e go feed on a plant, just one of those two things. Animals, they no fit generate their own food by themselves. Na why we dey refer to animals as heterotrophs. They dey undergo heterotrophic feeding. Meanwhile, plants, because they dey generate their own food using energy from sunlight, we dey refer to that one as autotrophic feeding. Now, growth nko, for animals, growth dey occur for different parts of the body. They occur for different parts of their body. As eye dey grow, ear go dey grow, mouth go dey grow, nose go dey grow, leg go dey grow. And this one dey very important because for animals, proportion dey. So e get as the body needs to dey look. No be say head go dey grow and other parts of the body no go grow. But for plants, no be so. For plants, every area of the body, no be every area of the body dey grow at the same time. Growth for plants, e dey localized for a particular area. E get wetin we dey call meristematic tissues, or another name wey we dey call am na the apical region of the cell of the plant. That apical region na where a lot of growth dey occur for inside plant. Now, for this same area of growth, animals, they dey get definite number of parts. And wetin that one mean na say as animal dey, e go get maybe two ears, e go get two eyes, e go get one head. All those things don dey arranged, and na so e dey be. If you see any animal wey get two head, you know say that animal no dey normal, e dey abnormal, something dey wrong with am. But plants, on the other hand, they no get definite number of parts. Many different parts. As leaves dey, they no get number of leaves wey they no fit get. Leaves, any number, they fit get any number of leaves, any number of branches. Na so e be. So these things na major differences wey dey inside plants and animals, and we need to understand them. Now, plants, when it comes to the issue of movement, plants, they no dey move from one place to another. Plants, they dey rooted to a particular point, meaning say their roots, they give them wetin we dey call anchorage. They been tanda for one area, and na there they go dey. Now, if wind dey come or water dey come, they fit dey move different parts of their body from time to time. But their major body no fit move. Their trunk no go fit leave that place where the plant dey. E must dey for that position. Animals, on the other hand, they get the ability to move from one place to another, and they get different structures wey animals dey take move from one place to another. Some animals, dey get legs, they fit dey hop. Like if na grasshopper dey hop. E fit dey run. If na human being, if na horse, e fit dey run. If na fish, e go dey swim. If na bird, e go dey fly. These na different ways wey animals dey take move from one point to another. And this one dey very important to note because plants, they no fit move their body. They dey one place, they tanda for one place all the time. Only different structures for their body they fit move from time to time. But for animals, they fit move their whole body from one point to another point. This one dey very important. Now plants, they get slow response to stimuli. And wetin be stimuli? We know say stimuli na impulses, na things wey dey the environment. Any animal, any organism dey sensitive to the environment. So if something come into that environment, e go know. And also that sensitivity sef, e fit be internal. Like if animal dey feel hungry now, we suppose know. Now plants, their response to that stimuli dey slow. Maybe response to air, response to sunlight, response to all these different stimuli, e dey very slow for plants. But for animals, that response need to dey very fast. Many animals dey exist for wetin we dey call predator-prey relationship, and that one mean say that animal need to dey smart. If e no dey smart, the other one wey wan chop am go just come do wetin, come chop am. So animals dey get faster response to stimuli. They need to dey very aware of wetin dey happen for their environment, and not only say they go dey aware, they go respond to that thing very very quickly because their life bin depend on it. So e dey very important. Now if we come to the area of excretion, we find out say plants no get specialized structure for excretion. They excrete for the whole of their body. And wetin plants dey excrete na oxygen. Plants dey take in our CO2 wey we dey breathe, and they dey give out oxygen. Then plants dey also give out wetin we dey refer to as VOCs, and that VOCs dey mean volatile organic compounds. Na part of the waste products wey plants dey give out. Now for this same issue of excretion, if you come to the animals, e dey different. For animals, animals bin get special structures wey they dey use pass out their waste. Many animals now get wetin we dey call kidney. Now this kidney, they dey use am filter the blood wey dey their body, and if they filter the blood finish, the filtrate or the liquid or the water wey go come from that blood na wetin we dey call urine. And if they don concentrate this water finish, na wetin we dey call urine, and they go pass am out. Birds dey pass out wetin we dey call uric acid. So animals get special structure wey they dey use pass out their waste materials, and they dey pass am out through one point. Plants, they no get special structure, and they dey pass their waste material out through the whole of their body. Now plants, they no get any specialized structure for sense organ. That's as they dey respond to stimuli, they no get any specialized structure wey they dey use do this response. Animals, on the other hand, they get special structure. For videos wey we don do before, we don talk about sensory organs. So we know say as we dey now, even as human being dey, we get eyes, we get ears, we get nose, we get tongue, and we get our skin with which we dey use feel touch. So all these organs wey I just mentioned, wetin dey help us do na to be able to get response from our environment. If a place dey hot now, you suppose know, and the way you go take know na say you go begin dey sweat, you go feel am for your skin. If noise dey, you go know because you go hear am. If somewhere dey smell, maybe bad smell dey for somewhere, you go quick know. And how you go take know? Na your nose. You go feel am for your nose, you go smell am for your nose. So this one na sensory organs wey animals bin get, and e dey important because plants, they no get that structure. Now if you come to the area of food also, plants, they store their food in the form of starch. If they don generate that food finish using light energy and photosynthesis, they will come store that food in the form of starch. They go store am for one area of their body. If you look at plants, look at yam for an example. Inside the tuber wey dey for inside the ground na where the yam plant dey store all its energy, store all its starch. E go store am for there. But animals, on the other hand, like humans, they no dey store their food as starch. No, rather they dey store their food either as something wey we dey call glycogen or another one wey we dey call fat. E dey very important to know this one na different. Food for plants dey stored as starch, but for animals, we dey store them as fat, or we go store them as glycogen. Now if you come to the area of gaseous exchange of gas, for plants, they dey exchange gas throughout the whole surface of their body. They dey use am exchange gases. And like I don talk before, plants, they go take in the CO2 wey we human beings dey give out, and they go give us oxygen wey we dey take in. And for that exchange to occur, plants bin get structure wey they dey call stomata. Na small holes like that through which plants dey use to do this gaseous exchange. And this gaseous exchange dey very important. Now for animals too, this exchange dey very important. And animals get different structures wey they dey use do this gaseous exchange. If you look at human beings now, we get lungs, we also get nostrils. We dey use am do this gaseous exchange. Other animals fit dey use their skin, like frogs dey use their skin for the gaseous exchange. fishes, they use their gills for the gaseous exchange. So different animals, they use different structures. They get different special structures wey dey use carry out gaseous exchange, and this one dey very important. Now if we go to the level of the cells, difference still dey between plants and animals, even at the level of their cells. We find out say for plants now, plants bin get wetin we dey refer to as cellulose cell wall, and wetin this one mean na say for the plant cell dey get cell wall. Animal cell no get cell wall, and that cell wall wey dey the plant cell, it is made up from wetin we dey call cellulose. So we dey call am cellulose cell wall, and that cellulose no be living material. Cellulose na plant material wey no dey living. So e dey important to know say plants get cellulose cell wall. Animal cell on the other hand, e no get cellulose for their own cell wall. Wetin animals no get cell wall, wetin animal get na wetin we dey call plasma membrane or cell membrane, and that cell membrane na living material. E dey living also as the cell dey living. For the plant side, the cellulose no be living material, but for the animal side, the cell membrane na living material. So the animal cell get living cell membrane, e no get cellulose cell wall. That one na for the plant. E dey very important to know this major difference. Then the last difference wey we go discuss na say the plant cell get large contractile vacuoles. E dey get wetin we dey call vacuoles. Those vacuoles be like big holes wey dey inside the plant cell, and these holes dey hold or dey carry water, and dey help the plant to regulate the amount of water wey go dey in the cell, in the plant cell. If the cell need to reduce the amount of water, e go reduce that vacuole, remove some of the water from the cell. But if e need more water for the cell, e go dey gather that water inside the contractile vacuole. That one dey very important. But for animal cell no dey get contractile vacuole like that. The vacuole, little vacuole wey animal cell fit get, na food vacuole. If the animal cell go ingest or go swallow something, e go hold am inside a little hole wey go dey inside the animal cell, and that hole, we go refer to that hole as a food vacuole. So these na major differences wey dey between plants and animals. I hope say you dey enjoy and understand this class. Please, as we dey put out all these videos, try to dey watch these videos to the end and try to dey use am to dey understand these things. The major reason why we take dey do these videos na say we wan make am possible for students, so that if they get exam or they get assignment or they get wetin they wan do for their schools, they fit just come this channel, go find that particular topic wey they dey discuss for school, listen to this video, you go understand am even better. So if you need to write assignment or you need to do exam, you go know wetin you go write down for that exam or assignment. Thank you for listening to this video, and have a nice day.